Our next speaker's journey comes full circle today. Dr. Austin Shull crossed this very stage as a member of the class of 2011 before going on to earn his PhD in cancer biology from the Medical College of Georgia, which would later honor him with a Distinguished Young Alumni Award in 2024. As a career researcher, his work centers on understanding how certain breast cancers become aggressive to determine weak points that can be exploited through novel therapies. And as a 15-year breast cancer survivor, I'm very grateful for his work. His work is supported by federal research funding and has been published in leading scientific journals, much of it carried out right here at Presbyterian College alongside his undergraduate students. As Associate Professor of Biology and the inaugural Director of PC's Center for Inquiry, Research, and Scholarship, he has built a career around three convictions: that students learn best alongside mentors, that science is a way of knowing for everyone, not just for scientists, and that a liberal arts education forms us as people to discern our true calling. Because of his work, Presbyterian College faculty and students have named Dr. Shull PC's 2026 Professor of the Year. Graduates, please join me in welcoming Dr. Austin Shull.
So thank you everyone for that warm welcome. So I first want to tell the class of 2026 something. If you're nothing else today, hear this. I am incredibly proud of you. Now, I'm proud of every class that has graduated from Presbyterian College since my time being a PC professor. But I want to make a special point to y'all as a class of 2026. You arrived on campus in 2021. The world was still trying to remember how to be normal again after a world-stopping pandemic. The traditions that greet every new PC class, the rituals, the rhythms, the unspoken rules of college life, they had been broken. But when you inherited this fractured experience, you recreated and redeemed a community that rivals any class that has ever graduated from Presbyterian College. And then when Hurricane Helene came through our campus and tested that community you created, you showed that the renewed spirit of PC you all helped create can weather many storms. So I'm proud of you. Now, in the 4 years you've been here, we have taught you how to address difficult realities like the one I just described. And that's what a liberal arts education does. It doesn't hand you answers wrapped in neat packages, but equips you to address deep truths, to process existential questions that form you into a person that you never expected to be, but are glad you are now. However, I do find it somewhat ironic that these large philosophical questions that we have you ask in a liberal education are often questions that we just innocently asked when we were children. The writer A.W. Tozer best describes this when he wrote that the philosopher, the theologian, and the child all seem to arrive at the same type of questions, like, what is God like? For many of us, we understand that this question is another version of just asking what the meaning behind all of this is, and then searching for some semblance of an answer for the rest of our lives. But yet, in all that searching, I do believe the answer has been there all along, bookend by the first and last lines of Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created. And then the last line, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. This text from Genesis reveals two truths. The act of creating is what establishes reality, establishes your reality. And creating what is good establishes a meaningful reality. The novelist Dorothy Sayers first wrestled with this idea in her book, The Mind of the Maker. Sayers posits that if we're made in the image of God, and God is described to us as a creator of good things, then we exist to create good things. It is innately what defines us from the beginning. And granted, you find glimpses of this same fundamental human condition in other philosophies and religions, whether it be in Plato's story of Prometheus, in the Norse creation myths, in the Hindu concept of Brahman, or in the Tao. So whether you see the Genesis story as an inerrant fact or as an allegory showcasing the human condition, the intellectual conclusion is the same. We are inherently created to create. But I do confess that these stories do not address something crucially important. And it's especially not something typically addressed at graduation commencements. Creating something good is actually terrifying. Now, in the Genesis story, we have a picture of God who creates good things out of nothing, with perfect knowledge, strength, and no context of failure. However, my theology colleagues have always told me that there are two things you must know before you study theology. Number one, there's an all-knowing, all-powerful God. And number two, you are not it. And that truth is no more apparent than we go out to do something worthwhile. Often it is marred in confusion, self-doubt, and the very real possibility that we might go create a life not worthy of being called good. I think right now, sitting in those chairs, you know exactly what I mean. You're excited for the life you're about to create. But I confess, as someone who sat in those chairs 15 years ago, you're also very afraid. You're going to go create a career, but you're afraid of whether you'll be successful in that career. You're going to go create a family, but you're afraid of who you should build a life with. You're going to go create a home, but you're afraid of where you should take root. You're going to go create belonging somewhere, but you're afraid of whether that community will accept you. And at that threshold, the easier option is always there to help provide you a ready-made answer for a pre-packaged life from an already well-worn path. And this option will hand you a life that you actually never created. And the world will call it success. I'm here to tell you that the courage to create means refusing that and asking one question of every choice, every commitment, every act of creation that you do. Does my creating allow us to live a life that serves with others? The acclaimed agrarian writer Wendell Berry wrote, "It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And that when we no longer know which way to go, we have come to our real journey. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sinks." I'm here to tell you that the obstacles during your time at Presbyterian College were not impediments to your formation. They were your formation. And that same truth will hold as you commence from PC and you pursue your real work and your real journey. Now, you've seen these words everywhere since the day you stepped on campus. While we live, we serve. You've already heard it about 10 times in this commencement. But I'm here to tell you that that motto is not while we succeed, or while we are comfortable, or while we are happy or celebrated. or remembered. The motto is while we live. That's it. There's no qualifier that gets us out of this call from our motto. While we live, we serve. But I must be honest with you, fulfilling this motto does not lead to a life of immediate glory. And any pursuit of building a personal legacy through this motto will fade faster than you think. Now, please don't see this as cynicism. Actually, on the contrary, it's a freedom that allows you to create and serve faithfully, not for the approval of an audience, but for meaningful contribution to a community. And long after your name is forgotten, the ripples of that creating will still bear fruit for that community. And everyone will call it good. So while you came here as students, you are leaving as creators. Creators of a culture, creators of a community, creators of good things. And you've proven that well here. You took a pandemic-laden, storm-weathered college experience, and you created something good for the next Presbyterian College Blue Hose faithful. Now go do what you did here and live out this call that I have as my title. Dum vivimus creamus. While we live, we create. And with that, I want to leave you with the words of Presbyterian minister and writer Rischbieter. Words that still encourage me often. Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Do not be afraid. So go and do not be afraid. Go live a life that serves in a world where terrible things will happen. But beautiful things will happen too for what you create in that world.